was down there.
We got a good job.
Hurry, hurry.
Hi and welcome back to my channel. Happy Vlogmas. This will be Vlogmas 5 for us. And today I wanted to go over my top books that I read in 2023. I feel like it's blurry. Is that better? Okay, I think that's better. I have read, I don't know how many books. Not as many as I wanted to, I will say. My goal for the year, last year my goal was, my goal last year was 24 books, 2 books a month, and I hit that goal. My goal this year was just kind of the same, to maintain my, to maintain my reading and keeping up with reading. I will include a list in the description box of all the books that I read, and I'll just rate them. I rate my books out of 10. So like on my Instagram, I will post a review and then like the rating that I give it and some little comments or trigger warnings or anything that I like stood out to me about the book. I've read 16 so far. It is December 9th. And I'm reading Handmaid's Tale, which it's so good. I knew it was gonna be good, and I've watched part of the series already, or like whenever it first came out, I was watching the series. But I really wanted to read the book. I don't know where I saw it, or I really don't remember where I saw it. I think I just like, I really want to get back into the show, and so I was just like, I should read the books. Or book. I don't know if it's more than one book. Honestly, I have no idea. I am 36% of the way through listening to it. It's so good. It is very flashbacky, and she's obviously like going through, this book is on the list, so I'll start with that one. And this is in no particular order as I usually do it, but Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. It is also a Hulu show, and it's the story of this like futuristic war that's happening in the world, and it's a war of religions, or like, I don't know, religious groups, and how they interpret like biblical readings and things like that, and all of that gets taken hardcore into their society and like daily lives. And so Luna, I can't control the cat, so she is placed in this home, and her one job is, and I think, I don't want to give any spoilers. Okay, spoiler alert. I'm just giving it right now because I don't know if it's a spoiler because I watched the show already, and I think if you hadn't watched the show, that maybe you might not know this, but essentially at this point in the world, like so many things have happened, and like environmental disasters, and you know, the progress of society and everything like that has impacted women's health, specifically women's fertility. So a lot of women are sterile, or it's very difficult for people to have kids in this society, and so women are, you would think that at that point they would be like worshipped and things like that, but it's weird. It's not like that. You would think that like, okay, we prioritize our women and everything like that, but they really hold them as just people who reproduce. Like, we need these people to have children, not necessarily like their own children, but to have children to give us in society. Luna, she is straight up gnawing on one of the ornaments she stole off the tree. But yeah, so it goes through the story of Fred, and that is the main character, and how she got there, and she's in the situation already and going through about her daily life and everything like that, and it flashbacks a lot to like different points of her life, and she's just trying to remember. Obviously this is a very traumatic situation, and it has a lot of, like, I would say a trigger warning for like sexual assault, infertility, war, a lot of things. It's a very, very, not graphic, but it's very disturbing. It can be like very disturbing. And again, in no particular order, I really liked the book Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and it is the story of video game developers and like their journey, and it's semi confusing to me because I just watched the movie Guy, what is it called? Guy City, City Guy, Guy City, good guy, good city, City Guy, good, with Ryan Reynolds, and it's on Disney Plus. But I just watched that, and I feel like it kind of it's not super similar, but like the concepts are kind of similar. But this book goes through the lives of 3 video game developers and their journey to success, and like how their lives intertwine. And I really enjoyed the fact that they talk a lot about different things of how video games get developed, and that was just so interesting to me because I don't know anything about that. Yeah, the way they go through the design and the coding and all these things and the graphics, and like there's so many details to a video game, and like the fact that all that works together and like the final product is how you play and everything. It's just, it literally blows my mind. It's like magic. Yeah, after reading this book, I was like, I should start playing my Nintendo Switch again. So I was like playing Animal Crossing, was trying to like find new video games to download and things like that. So it really inspired that and like brought that back out in me, and like I like playing games or like puzzle games, like video games like that. And I really liked it because it had a good amount of like drama and a little bit of like a love side story romance thing happening. The next book that I really, oh my god, it was so good. The School for Good Mothers by Jessamine Chan. It was so good. It was, I will say, trigger warning for that book. There's like child abandonment and abuse and like domestic violence. It is also kind of like futuristic, could happen, I don't know. It's almost in like a parallel universe. But the main character is Frida, and she has a very bad day and ends up in a lot of trouble for that. And during this time, the government has implemented a new law for moms, or like for women, and it's a new program for moms who have committed child abuse or child abandonment and any CPS related incident like that. And so she goes through a very intense parenting school that is supposed to improve her capabilities as a mother. And it is sometimes it's very disturbing. But yeah, essentially she's sent to this camp, and there's a bunch of other moms there too. They're there for a bunch of different reasons. At the end of the camp, you're supposed to become a good parent and a good mother, and they make them do all these things, and there's some AI things kind of that happen. So good. I imagine if you were a mom, you probably don't want to read this, because this would be your literal like nightmare if this ever happened. And the writing style also was really good. So I really enjoyed that. Okay, the next one, I feel like this is similar themes, but the next one is Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng. And oh my goodness, this book. So a little synopsis of the book. This book takes place during/after a new government initiative to protect Americans from China. So that kind of is happening in the background of this storyline. Well, I feel like it might be more central to the plot. The US takes it very extreme so that Asian Americans, Chinese Americans in the United States are treated a certain way because there's this big rift with China. It's weird to think, but like maybe this isn't so far off. In the past 3 years since COVID, like there has been a huge increase in Asian American hate and like hate crimes. The plot is about a young boy who is trying to find his mom. He's trying to figure out like his history with his mom and just trying to put the pieces together. It is really cute to see like the connection between the boy and his mom, and you are figuring out, you're trying to put the pieces together, like what happened and why did it end like this? Like why was he left and all these things. I thought it was really good. There is kind of a lot going on in this book, so it can get a little overwhelming at times. Like there's a bunch of different storylines with like her friends and things like that. So there is a little bit of storyline crossing over and like chaos, but overall I really enjoyed it. Or my next book is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, and this was so cute. It goes through the life of this octopus, this giant Pacific octopus named Marcellus, and he is at this, well, no, yeah, that doesn't give it away. He's at an aquarium, and it kind of goes through like his life and his stay there, and he kind of writes it as diary entries, and he makes friends with the cleaning lady at the aquarium. They form a relationship with each other and a friendship and kind of become bonded, and he gets a glimpse into her life outside of work and like outside of the aquarium, and then there's a bunch of other storylines going on too. So I would say this is definitely like a bunch of different characters, and then you kind of see how the strings are connected to them at the end. So it's really interesting, and I really enjoyed it, but I definitely was reading it for Marcellus. Like his part of the book I really enjoyed, and I thought it was cute. Next is Paper Names by Susie Luo, and this book literally broke my heart. It is such a like family oriented book, and I just, oh my goodness. Okay, so this story goes through the lives of a Chinese immigrant family. You get to learn about them through the point of view of the dad, the daughter, and a family friend. There's all these contrasting point of views, and kind of similar with Remarkably Bright Creatures, that there's different characters, then you kind of see how they're intertwined, and there are some crazy events that happen in this, and again, like heartbreaking events that happen, and it is so crazy. But yes, it goes like one of the main characters is the daughter of this man, and he's a Chinese immigrant, and so she again is just trying to be the perfect immigrant daughter. I really like that. I love themes of like immigrant families, anything like BIPOC or Asian American. I just really enjoy the stories. They resonate with me, or like I feel so connected to those stories and those storylines. I'm just like now remembering like everything that happens, but it will literally break your heart. It was so good. Now Luna decided to join me. And then the last one that I will share with you all is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, and this book is kind of like a psychological thriller, and you're trying to figure out like, is this person the good guy? Is this person the bad guy? Like, what is happening? Like, they make it seem like it's okay, and like the point of view that they're speaking from and like the writing style, it just makes it seem like, oh yeah, like everything's good, and like this is good, and this is how it's supposed to be. And it's about this aspiring writer and the lengths that she'll go to make her career good, like to make herself a success, to make herself a well-known author. She wants a movie deal, she wants book deals, she wants a series deal, like she wants everything as a writer. And it just kind of goes through the life of like the ups and downs and struggles of doing that, and then again, like, what are you willing to do? How far will you go to be at that level of success? At first I probably got like 30% of the way or so, and then I was just like, why do I feel these things towards this character? Like, but I really think that this book kind of shows like how microaggressions, like racial microaggressions, can happen and continue to happen, and like then you just kind of are like, oh yeah, it's not even a microaggression anymore, like this is just how the way things are, and like how you can normalize it so much in your head because you just get used to hearing those things. One of my notes that I wrote down from it, but it's like, it's the little digs that people say that you turn your head slightly and you think, I don't think they can say that, or like, I don't know if that makes sense, or if like that doesn't sound right to you. And there's actually a creator on Instagram, TikTok, and she like does corporate translations, and she's like, oh, if somebody tells you something that you're like, they say something like offensive to you, but you don't want to say like, hey, that's offensive, that you can like corporate speak it, and it's like, oh, that's really interesting that you'd feel comfortable sharing that with me. Like, that's how I feel like this book is like, that's really interesting that you felt comfortable for sharing that. Like, those are things that you should not speak out loud. So that was really good. And I think that might be my top book of the year, Yellowface. It is so interesting. And you can kind of, I mean, the title, Yellowface, you could put it together about what it's about. So those are all of my favorite books of 2023. I will leave them listed down below if you want to check them out. I will also leave the link down to the app that I use. I use Libby. It connects to your library card, like your public library card. And you can use more than one library card on there. I have so many I'm just collecting library cards. Like, I've moved so much, and everywhere I've moved to, I've gotten a library card. So it really increases your chances of getting a book, especially popular books. I feel like I read a lot of like new and popular books, and how I find my books is I will go through the Phenomenal Book Club and see what they have for like their book of the month, the Reese Witherspoon Book Club, and see what she has for her book of the month, and then Oprah, sometimes the like Barack Obama end of the year list that he puts out, like his best of for the year. I will go through those. Yeah, those are kind of where I get my books. And then obviously I'm just on social media and hearing people and things like that. I tried to prioritize reading books from BIPOC or people of color authors, and so I didn't read as many books as I wanted to. I didn't really hit my goal for the year, but if I get, what is this, 17 with Handmaid's Tale, and we have like 3 weeks left, and if I finish The Handmaid's Tale before the end of the year, like, that is a success. Okay, Luna. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any book recommendations, please leave them down below and I will go through them, and hopefully I will hit my goal for next year. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.